So, I'm playing Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PS4 because I put my rig up because I was about to go to bed, but since I need my phone to charge, I might as well play a little bit of this in single player. Sorry if my mic sounds horrible, but you know what? This is a studio microphone and PlayStation doesn't really optimize them well, so they will sound really fucking loud even though this is the lowest as possible. I don't know why, but it just does. You're gonna have to deal with it. Anyways, I've been playing this game on PC for a while now, and playing it back on PS4 looks really fucking strange. I noticed that the draw distance is as low as possible, and I also noticed that there is a lot of fucking jaggies. This game has no anti-alias at all. And I know I'm gonna piss a lot of people off that own PlayStation 4s, but I'm gonna be real with you because that's just the way it is. I'm not gonna hold anything back to impress anyone. This game is pretty good graphically from a person that plays PC, but it is certainly missing a lot of things. I wouldn't exactly say this is on par with the PC version at all, because I'm still gaming at 1080p at the moment, and I'll be moving up to 1440p, 144 hertz, and I'll be upgrading my card this year to a stronger one. But even on 1080p standards, the PC version does kick the PS4 version's ass by a lot. I mean, I'm looking at the grass and stuff right now, and there's jaggies everywhere. There's no anti-alias, and I can't really explain it because this is recorded on the PlayStation Share capture, and you can't really get that much quality out of it because I would use my phone, but the battery's dead, so I can't. So I have to use this, which reduces the quality anyways. And it's just the fact that when I look at the anti-alias that's not present and I see all these jaggies, I'll explain to you what anti-alias is and what jaggies are. Anti-alias is something that smooths out the graphics. Now the only way you will understand this is if you yourself is going to play the game and watch this and compare it. Now I'm driving around and all I could see is really sharp reflective grass, but at the same time at the end of the draw distance, like those mountains over there, they're sort of faded out, like they have this weird carpet texture. It's really hard to explain. These carpet textures are the only thing that actually gets on my nerves, and I noticed that it's not just in Grand Theft Auto 5, it's on most PS4 titles these days. It's really fucking annoying. And I just wish they would get rid of this sort of weird texture thing, but I don't think they can because it's a part of the PS4 graphics card or whatever they have in here, graphics chip, I'm not sure. But without anti-alias and all that carpet effect, like, you can go by this area and test it out yourself. It's right here. Just drive along this way and try to come down here. And you will see what I'm talking about when you look at these fences. Like, these fences are sort of fading away and they have these carpet texture things until you actually drive close to them. Like, everything in front of me has this faded texture, and it's really hard to explain if you're only on console. Like, if you're on PC, everything is solid like a brick and everything's smooth and sharp. And this game on PS4 and most games on PS4, they don't really have anti-alias, so that means these jaggies are everywhere. Every direction you look, there's jaggies, and there's nothing you can do about it. What is jaggies, you might be asking yourself? Well, jaggies are like how everything's sort of popped out. You see how the grass is really sharp, and it has this weird sort of look to it. The grass is really sharp. Well, if you set anti-alias and TXDD on, or is TX something TXSS, I believe, what would happen is the grass would be smoothed out, yet it would still be sharp. But when you turn anti-alias off and TX whatever it is, TXSS, you don't no longer have these smooth graphics. Like, once you turn it off, you have a sort of effect like the PS4. So I do believe that in order to keep a locked 30 FPS, they had to take away anti-alias. And I believe that most games aren't going to have anti-alias unless it's something really small like Call of Duty or a arena game like that. But if it's something as big as GTA 5, you're not going to really have anti-alias, and you're not going to really have really sharp textures. Like, the textures are pretty sharp on here, but I'd say you compare it to the PC version of GTA 5, it's on high. And I usually run the PC version on very high, and most settings on ultra, without breaking too much of a sweat. I will sacrifice some frames, like 50 to 55 frames for doing so, but it's really worth it because the game looks amazing. At the moment on PS4, it sort of looks cartoonish, and it is hard to say that if you are a console player because you've never really seen the PC version like face to face, so you can't understand it from my point of view. But that's just one of the perks of PC gaming, is on PC you really don't have to worry about these jaggies because you can just turn them on. Console, you have to worry about them. Like, if I go to my settings right here, there's really no graphic settings, so I can't turn down the resolution and then turn up anti-alias if that was an option. So that's really my point of view on it. The game looks decent, but it does really look outdated sometimes. At least to me, it does look a little bit outdated because of these jaggies. If they would put the minimum anti-alias on here, then the game would be good. Because like I said, 30 FPS doesn't really bug me too much compared to 60 FPS. 60 FPS is jaw-breaking, but you know, 30 FPS is pretty good too. It's not like it really makes the game horrible. Like if it was 20 FPS or something like that, then I'd complain, but a locked consistent 30 FPS, it's not really that bad. I never really noticed myself having trouble looking at 30 FPS. Yes, the cars do look like they're skipping across the map in 30 FPS instead of actually driving. Same with the helicopter blades. The helicopter blades on 30 FPS do look like they're spinning rather slow, and instead of actually moving. The only way I could explain 30 FPS is if you're watching a YouTube video that's not 60 FPS, and if you actually play 60 FPS, looking at actual 60 FPS looks like real life objects moving, basically. That's the only way I can explain it to you. But that's all I gotta really say about this, is if you're playing on the PS4 version, I'd say you're doing better than PS3 and Xbox 360 by a long shot, but you're really not experienced the full package of what Grand Theft Auto has to offer, just because it has no anti-alias. The textures are on high instead of very high, and that's pretty much it. I will say that the Annihilator guns are more powerful on the PC version than on the console version. That's the only real difference. But anyways, I'm out because that's really all I gotta say.